We're also watching what happened in a congressional probe of a billionaire with a long and documented friendship with convicted sex criminal Jeffrey Epstein. Now, reportedly, the deposition of a man named Les Wexner will happen behind closed doors. So let's go live now to CBS News congressional reporter Taurean Small. Taurean, why closed doors, and how is it that Wexner didn't have to travel to D.C. to testify?
Yeah, not only not behind closed doors, but also not in D.C. This is happening, this deposition in Wexner's hometown. And this was quite the cause for scrutiny from the Clintons. We heard from Secretary Hillary Clinton a couple of days ago through our reporting partners at the BBC. She said it's unfair treatment to her and her husband as they have to testify in person in D.C. and privately instead of in a public forum that they asked for. Whereas other people under investigation by this same panel are allowed to do so virtually through written statements through their lawyers, and to them that spells this is of partisan nature. But Wexner is an interesting case here because a lot of this stems from a very heated hearing from the Attorney General Pam Bondi on the Hill last week, when she had this very famous back and forth with Thomas Massie, the Republican from Kentucky, who questioned as to why Wexner's name was redacted under a page that listed potential co-conspirators with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. She said that that was corrected around 40 minutes after that document was made available. She also said his name was mentioned at least 4,000 other times. It's no doubt that that interest is why we're seeing this deposition happen this week, Reed.
Are we getting any sense from his attorneys what we expect to hear in his testimony?
Yeah, his representation told CBS News that they're cooperating because he's viewed as someone who can provide more information and insight, not necessarily as someone under investigation himself or subject to any criminal charges potentially. Wexner's team is claiming that they cut ties with Epstein, who served as a manager of his money for the billionaire after his crimes became known and available, and they're maintaining their client's innocence throughout this entire process. But again, Wexner, who is known for being the man behind some of the large big box brands like Bed Bath & Beyond and Victoria's Secret, has been under scrutiny by lawmakers because of his mention several times throughout the release of the Epstein files. So we're likely to hear from lawmakers after the fact whether or not they received their insurances that they were looking for headed into this conversation with him.
All right, Taurean Small, thank you so much.